Hello. So I'm streaming again, and this time we're doing a game called The Beginner's Guide. So let's get the title screen on. So I don't really know much about this game. There's a couple of things that I do know. That it's less of a game and more of a narrative told through game mechanics. At least this is what I've heard. And the other thing I know about this game is what someone said about it. They said, I don't want to tell you about any of the details, but they said if you're a creative, if you've worked in a creative field and you've ever felt like you've got imposter syndrome, you should play this game. So I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. I'll give it a go. I do work in a creative field, by the way. So yeah, I thought this would be worth a look. Word to the wise, though, when I tried to fire this game up, and initially, it booted up the kind of black loading screen with I think it had a company logo or something, and then it just immediately shut down. It is because this game is an old game, 2015. It uses an old version of the Source engine, and if you have a CPU with over 12 cores, it will not load. So what I had to do was open msconfig and turn off a load of my cores. I've got a 1950X and it has 16 cores, so like 32 logical processors. So I turned a load off, so it only had 12 running. So word to myself, actually, don't forget to turn my own cores back on after I finish this game. Anyway, let's crack on with it. So I should be able to, okay, gamepad enabled, calibrate buttons. Press the stick for move forward. Left strafe, look up, look left. Sorry, I should have done this. Interact, menu, select. We'll choose that. Go back a menu. Pause. Chat option 1. Oh, I don't care about any of that. Okay. Okay, so move forward, left strafe, look up. Sorry about this, look left. Interact, menu, select. I'm just going to go with A for that, I think. Go back a menu. B. Pause that. Chat option 1. Chat option 2. Chat option 3. Okay, well, hopefully that's it. It'd be good if you could recalibrate them, but reset them to default. But it appears to be working, so let's go. Yeah. Oh, controls. Okay, cool.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Wreden. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this. This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting.
I wonder if I can... Yeah. So if I ever need to recalibrate, that's good.
And I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
Okay.
As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay, so this guy speaking, his name's Davey, and he made the Stanley Parable. That's another game I actually haven't played, so maybe I'll take a look at that after this one.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
I just want to alter something quickly. Calibrate buttons, forwards, left, up, look left, interact, menu select. It won't let me pick a trigger. Why not? Why won't it let me pick a trigger button? Because it's not a button. Go back a menu. Pause. Option 1, option 2. Okay, fine. Sorry about that.
Security call reached. Hostile alien life forms inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shield evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Okay.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering a whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Okay. So, if I don't walk into that beam, everyone dies. Why not? It's just a game.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. I ascend. That's even cooler, to be honest. Oh, okay.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
The past was behind her.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I can't walk forwards at all. And the action button does nothing. Okay. Okay, there's a gap in the floor as well.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Okay. The past was behind her, but the future could not be seen. Yeah, no, fair enough. But why does the future keep changing? Yeah, because that wall wasn't there before. So let's have a look where I'm going and see if anything changes. Yep. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. But if the future is always behind her, nothing there. How will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Okay. Okay, so the road... You are now entering. And oh, it's on rails. I can't leave the path. Something's going to scare the shit out of me.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
You are now entering, and then it... The unknown, maybe?
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Nonsense in every direction.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
There's no sprint button or anything. Is it getting slower the higher I go? Yeah.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press the use key on your gamepad, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay, good. Stand on an X. Stand on an X staring at a bear for 3 hours. What? You start in a small room until you realise you can just walk through the walls. Oh, okay.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Okay.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Okay. So far, Davey, the maker of this game, is talking about his friend Coda, who is, I suppose you could say, eccentric. He makes these little games that don't really go anywhere. And I think that last one you could even construe as a little bit narcissistic. It's almost like him going, here's my little room of ideas, aren't I special? You know? Maybe not. Maybe I'm missing the point so far, who knows?
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Okay. Okay, is there anything? But there's a wall there. And yep, there's a wall there as well. Can I press the switch? Okay, no, oh, there's a switch on the door.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're going to see it a lot.
So I pressed the switch to go through the door, then I had to press the switch I'd already pressed to close the door to reveal another switch. Alright, I'll remember that. What are these? 3 dots that...
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press the use key on your gamepad, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay. Oh shit!
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
That said January 2009. Is that date going up for each new game? Okay, so you are now exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them.
Okay.
And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
March 2009. So yeah, the date is going up. The Great and Lovely Descent, did that say? Okay, I think I've hit a boundary there. Yeah, I can't move backwards anymore.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
I don't know if I was meant to fall off there, but I did. Did you hear that noise? Like a door opening or something. Oh, maybe it was that. Yeah. Okay.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
Oh, wow.
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Okay. Well, it's certainly more of a narrative than anything, and it's kind of using games.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Okay. Yeah, it's certainly more a narrative using game mechanics to tell it. Okay.
there's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Okay. The narrator isn't telling me if the music is included in the game that I'm actually playing now, or in Coda's game, if you know what I mean.
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the buttons on your gamepad to respond.
Okay. You there, did you come from up above? What was up there? Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. Yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in. Yes, there were these floating coloured blocks. This is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. No, I don't remember having to go through any puzzle. I'd prefer not to tell you. After all, we've only just met. I'll just say yes. Again, perfect. Now please, tell us, have you solved it? Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. I don't remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember, but can't. 2, I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. Why? Trust me, you don't want to go over there. Ah, well, I don't want to lie. I'm going to say why, because it's the closest to the truth. Oh no, but I do. We do. We need to get there. Do you understand? It is the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you, there is nothing I want more. Okay. Another room. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? Oh, no, we actually find the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Why would I care about the space between the doors? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember feeling strange as I passed through it. I don't recall a space between the doors. I do recall the space between the doors. Let's go for the strange feeling. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. Okay. I had to turn the volume down.
So we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Okay.
It's a lamppost. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay. Like a lighthouse or something. Okay. Fading out. So the date's going to go up. Will be end of April 2009. Okay. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. I don't think that's true. Nice room. Not. So basically shit posting. That's great.
First off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet.
Yeah.
All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention.
How do you beat this game?
I was over enthusiastic.
No point to this.
He was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
This is quite funny, actually, because the narrator, so the maker of this game is the narrator telling me about his friend Coda and the games that he makes and blah, blah, blah. I have no way of knowing whether that's true or this is just a fiction. It could be a fiction for the purpose of this game, or he could actually know this person in real life. I have no idea. Whoa, holy shit. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so from the narrator's perspective, he's saying that Coda wrote all of these notes. Hello. Reasonable.
Feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
Everyone read this.
Either way,
hey,
to me they convey a sense of loneliness.
This place makes me sad.
Who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Balls. I'm just trying.
But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally
Oh, I can't
into his world.
go off of that.
And then I feel less lonely too.
Jesus, that's a long one. Huh. I'm trying to find one that's funny. I'm just going to get on with it, I think. What the shit is this cavern? I assure you, guaranteed that there is an acorn somewhere here in this place, and the sailors are looking for it. Okay, gobbledygook. Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. I think I'm going to skip most of these now, because if, as the narrator is saying, Davey, yeah, as if what Davey is saying is true, that Coda wrote all these notes, well, open sesame. Then, yeah, if anything, that's a bit tragic, really. It's not very crowded here. Ah, don't bother. This is where I get off. Okay. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Okay. Right, let's just yeah, it's kind of cool. Art. I think it's about how things look messy from close up and perfect from far away. From up here, it just looks like dots. Yeah. To be fair, from far away, it looks just like dots. Alright, let's move forward. Yeah, we're all here now. I beat the game.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Okay. How do you leave notes? Ah, and there's the lamp again. And a million typewriters. Well, not a million, but lots. Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you. Talk to me, please. Talking. Speak, 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 speak. Okay. Porn stars die
this
too.
one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. Got a picture of a city and some furniture in a room that I can't get out of, skybox, and a well. There's a door here that I can kind of just fit through. Corridor again. Some lights. Cave. Oh, am I at the bottom of the well? Yeah.
So,
okay.
This is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Okay, I was the girl from the ring for a minute. Okay, there's no furniture. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? How about a TV with surround sound, a refrigerator, put a giant hole in the ground? I like that one. Oh, so you lied to me. Okay, now what about along the wall of the room? Put a huge picture of the horse. I'd really like a washing machine. 10 stoves lined up against the wall. You're just gonna... Okay, so I don't actually get a choice. It's an illusion. I think we should light this up. We'll put live Tesla coils in each corner. I'm thinking recessed soft LED lights. A skylight. Let's try that one. Did he do it? And a table. We need a table. Who are you? Where exactly are you doing this from? I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making a difference. Tables were invented in 1935. Okay. That one. Yeah, none of my choices do make a difference. Oh!
There's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
I like it. I like that one. Yeah,
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello. Please walk forward. Oh, that's cool. Is it like I can see different text? This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. Okay. First, click on this table. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. So, table, photo frame. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. There's only one floor lamp, isn't there? Yeah. So, and then turn it back. Okay. Now go to the left side sofa and move it a little. So table, that, on and off, and left side sofa and move it a little. Finally touch the shelves. Is this going to be a repeat of the last room where none of these choices actually make a difference? That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Okay. Well, this is quite a weird choice because I'm voluntarily putting myself back in jail. Okay.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Yeah.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something.
So wait,
he likes it.
So is your friend going mad, or he's an obsessive compulsive?
And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons.
Okay, good.
This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. Well, there's the lamppost that you were talking about. Like, it's a really simple, I mean, it's dark, but it's really simple. But it's got a really creepy atmosphere. It's probably more about the sound design than anything, you know, the... Hello, who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm from after you escaped the prison. You're me? Is this me from the future? So you were trapped in this prison too? Yeah, I was in the furniture maze. Yeah.
And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Actually, I'm already forgetting what it was like, what being in the prison was like. It's strange, but in a way, I kind of miss being in the prison. It feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. I'll go with 2. I don't think any of these choices matter, so... Why, was there anything good about it that felt good about? Being here sucks. True, maybe I only like things once. I Maybe I only like things once. I don't have them anymore. It was comfortable. I knew that its limits. I knew my place. Excited doesn't really do it justice. Exactly. You're about... you have something you care about, something to look forward to. You won't always have something that you care about as much as this. Just be with that enthusiasm for a bit. Let it... Yeah, okay. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Yes, I did get a call. That's how I escaped. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. To get out, you need to tell me how you feel right now. To get out, just talk with me for a bit. What? That will free me. How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Just tell me how you feel. It will make sense. Yeah, sure. Okay, I feel afraid that nothing will ever change. So, is this Coda saying that he's dissatisfied with his life? Or is it Davey saying he's dissatisfied with his life and telling me this through making up this story about this person called Coda? I don't know. Go on.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
I'll tell you what.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
If this Coda does in fact exist, Davey, it sounds like your buddy is depressed, to be honest.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Okay, well, I want to know what's up here.
Just so you're aware, nothing will happen up here until you've been inside the house.
Oh, okay. Wait. I want to test that theory. Am I meant to just take the narrator's word for it? I mean, he's correct, so fair enough. Okay. I'm just thinking, oh, hello. That's creepy. Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. And right miserable that I would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands makes
You'll notice
lousy
that
homes.
the quality of the art is a step up from previous games,
Yeah.
including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
That's the story, little one. Oh, don't you worry now. We'll be through this mess in no time. I promise you'll wish there was more. Why don't I finish up here? In the meantime, could you please clear the table? Clear the table. Okay. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? I've only just met you. Why am you fucking maid? No, that's not the... That's the bathroom. Okay. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug? Okay, cool. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How do you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. Let's go 2. A friend dragged me along at a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Turns out I've never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. Never did like cleaning my own home. I might have got some demons I ain't ready to face yet. Oh, speaking of demons, someone's put this couch all in a mess. Would you come and straighten these pillows here? I'm waiting for a jump scare or something because the music's all relaxing and everything's fine, but the setting's creepy. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay. Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there? Oh yeah, okay. Okay. I feel compelled to share an increasingly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Do you absolutely have to? Is the last one. Make it especially cheesy. Yeah, I'll try to get by. Yeah, go on then. And then nothing. Brilliant. No. That was stupid. Sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Oh yeah. Idiot. Last I checked, the tub needed cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? No need to be perfect, we're all just human. Are there still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? Okay. Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off the table?
This house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Do these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you've absolutely got to own it, otherwise it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future you?
I know that Coda really liked this game.
Present you wants to soothe out the rug in the bedroom.
Me up to ask me to come over and look at it.
Believe it or not,
this was during a
trust me,
period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
So I'm just doing the same chores over and over again. Earlier, when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. Hey, I don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. I get it, that's a weird thing to say to someone you just met. Yeah, you're right, that's pretty cheesy, but there's a bit of truth in it, no? Yeah, alright. Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books, would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Is this just like testing to see how long I'll go about doing this until I just give up and leave? Oh goodness, those pillows on the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he found some peace.
Would you go over and straighten them up a bit? Can't have these folks coming home to a messy couch. Question. Okay.
But
do you enjoy
it
this?
Can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
This is a very, very strange... Well, I was going to say game, but I wouldn't even call it a game. Okay, this indicates the end of the level, doesn't it? The lamp.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
September 2009. Items you love at
This
members
one
only
gets a bit
prices. Okay. Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No? You came here to be perfect. Was it to get a better... Oh, right, okay. The workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? No one. Who do you know that is so well adjusted as a person they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp, and the question is not how do we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Okay, wow. This is the key.
And you
How
play
do I
as the
achieve
teacher.
it with no effort?
Suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are.
On the way
and
to
also you
work,
can move around the classroom now.
Okay. On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing to society. Kids should not follow their dreams. Oh, wow. Can I just walk into the abyss? No. I just said the kids should not follow their dreams. Well, let me tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. I still love you. It's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. Jesus. Let's go for that one. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Narcissist much. Drinking is not hurting my life. If you are torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good statement. Seek out only one thing. What is the easiest and simplest path forward? Do you No, I don't agree with that. Do you understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you. Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. I like that one. Haha, just kidding. Anyone want to do some ecstasy after this? There is no truth, there is no path. I like two. What if I'm not a good teacher? Do what is easiest, do what is simplest, feel what is true. Holy shit, you guys, something is coming out of the back of the room. Look out. Yeah, I like that one. Everyone run. It's coming for you. It's going to destroy you. Am I meant to be just choosing the yellow ones? I'm going to go with that from now on.
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
Mm-hmm.
I think about this game a lot these days.
Okay.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Maybe he had other shit going on in his life. Wait. Places, please. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you start out leaning against this wall. Okay. Good. Stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello, sorry I have to leave. Where is the bathroom? I suppose hello's a good opener. Hello, that's it? That's not a conversation. Well, yeah, it's a two-way street. You actually need to converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Okay. I'm super scared right now. I like you. Here are all of my hopes and dreams. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go for that one. No. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. Wise, happy, focused. Okay. You must have worked really hard to get to where you are. I'll bet you learned to lean into the pain. What are some of the sacrifices you've had to make? Okay. You're messing it all up again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realise how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay. I think it was one of those things where your choices really didn't matter. It was always going to present that dialogue no matter what you chose. Okay, I'm in the prison again. And I'm locked off from the...
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of...
Hang on, before he spouts off. Earlier he said that the lamp, the... what do you call it? Street lamp, signifies sort of like a conclusion, an ending. And if it's locked off, you know,
having to perform
maybe can't
and
have that.
having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
June 2010. Mobius trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. What's going on? Captain, what can we do? Help, I'm blind. I can't see anything. What's going on? Help, I'm blind. And then my vision suddenly went black. There was a giant door and my vision went black. I can't see anything either. Please, someone talk to me. Someone... Oh, shit. Okay.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Oh, really? I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. Okay. I don't feel it anymore. I'm
like I said,
out of
I was getting
ideas.
concerned.
It's draining me.
First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Okay.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out.
It looks like it.
It's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Hello, where am I? What is this? Yeah, that's a good question. Where did this island come from? How do I get out of here? Hello, is anyone there? Well, he said he was feeling alone, so... I am lost. I have nothing left to give to my work. When I try to create, I feel empty. I'm completely out of ideas. I've been there. Ah. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Okay. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. What? You have to take me to it. I need to see it to know why it stopped. The sound is really weird, that woo. I need to see it to know why it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11.
I can
now,
tell you...
Put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Come along, I'll show you it to you.
From my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was.
It's that problem
he was
again.
In his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose if you isolate yourself and you just got your own company, you are going to hit a brick wall, and run out of ideas and be uninspired. And I've solved this puzzle before. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First, you have to close the door. First, you have to open the door. First, you press the switch on the inside. No, first you have to open the door. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now what? Now you have to close the first door. Now you have to open the first door. Now you press the switch on the inside. Okay. Alright, what's next? Now just close the first door. Now just open the first door. Now you press the switch here. Ah, that was so simple.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Okay, here we are. What are you talking about? There's no machine here. These are just words on some wall. Okay, what do they say? I'm completely out of ideas. Hello, is anyone there? What is this? I need to see it to know why it stopped. I've solved this puzzle before, deal. Okay, there's no machine here. Trust me, you'll see. Okay. Oh, I can't leave. Okay, making games is simple. Sure, making games is easy. Alright, making games is effortless. Yeah. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. But I don't want to. Because it isn't. Oh, okay. Ah, that feels wonderful. But it wasn't true. Why did the walls just crumble? Why did I feel so awful when I said that? I'm going to say, but it wasn't true. Don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games, I feel completely energized. I'm constantly excited about and enthusiastic about them. It's easy. It never stops being easy. You have to open the door. Yes, there was these floating colored blocks.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Pain breezes effortlessly off me. Any sacrifices made for my work are worth it 100% of the time. It always pays off eventually, okay? Sometimes it doesn't. Yes, more. Keep going.
This is what I felt at the time.
There is no shame, no fear, no guilt.
I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop.
That music
After finishing
was
this
warped.
one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
2011. Now, bear in mind, this game came out in 2015. The Machine. Please be a drug. God. He's not going to let me... Ma'am, glad to see you arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. I intend to be quiet. I intend to be brutal. I don't know. Brutal. Like it. Just be direct. Straight to the point. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Oh, shit. Okay. So this is the press, is it? Do you know where the poisonous games have come from? What will you do with it? Will it be published? Where is the machine now? So is this about expectation? Can you give us... Could you please take a minute for an interview? Where's the machine? Do you know where the poisonous games have come from? Hey, ma'am. So is this about the pressure and expectation of a finished game or something? Don't know.
And of course, it's the machine.
Is the machine a metaphor for his creativity? Like this is like a creation engine. Okay, let's go for 1. You stopped. You stopped. You stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. You stopped feeding us. Okay. These people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? Who cares about that? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? I'm going to say 2. I'm trying to say the things that is piling on. Yeah, I don't know. So here's what needs to happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologise to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Ooh. Apologise for leaving me. No, nothing. Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. I have seen the thing you fear. Alright then, I will apologise to the people on your behalf. Okay? Ooh. Is this like a press conference, is it? This is so creepy. My followers, my friends. Followers, I suppose, because they're not... You don't know these people, do you? It falls on me to deliver bad news. I have trouble in revelation. The machine will not apologise to us. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. There you go. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show it that we are not failures. Okay. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. Follow me. We will destroy everything that the machine has created. Oh. Neither of those is a decent option. Is this a metaphor for, like, ending yourself or ending the things you created? Let's go 2. Okay, we're back to this thing, and I gather I can fire bullets. Oh, I can actually... I shouldn't have chose that button as my shoot button. Coda, I'll make sure your work dies here. Coda, I'll make sure you are known forever.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation.
Yeah.
And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Why not?
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games.
Without Coda's
The point of it all
permission.
was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
What if you didn't want that? Put down your weapon. Okay. How do I put it down? Oh, that's shooting.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better.
You're not him, though.
I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe
This
I
ain't
could
about you,
fix the
bitch.
problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best
Yeah, for
feeling.
you.
It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made.
Did he kill
So
himself?
let's take a look.
You're talking about him in a past sense as if he's not with you anymore. Okay, the tower. Alright.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it.
It's a creepy atmosphere.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all.
Yeah.
But I do want to show you the rest of the level, so when you're ready to continue, press the use key on your gamepad, and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Thanks. The walk speed is very slow as well.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
Maybe there wasn't one.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him.
Yeah, but you're kind of
I still don't
imposing...
really understand why this is here.
You're imposing your...
I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
151617. You're kind of imposing what you want out of his shit. Do you know what I mean? Like... Oh, right, I can... Okay, so this is 1, 5... 1, 6... 1, 7. And then... I still don't even know if Coda's real or a tool to tell
The
a
switch
narrative.
to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Okay. Can I press this?
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution.
Yeah.
I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Right, what was that up there? That's just a random pink light.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy.
You sound...
That I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
You seem more obsessive about his work than he is. You need to calm down, son.
Where did I screw up?
Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to...
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I?
Wow.
It's because of what I did.
Yeah.
I poisoned it for you.
Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore. Yeah, I was going to say, as this progressed, it seemed like you were just pushing the point further and further and further until you made it not fun for him anymore. Seemed like in the beginning he was making games, even if they didn't have a point, he was making games for the sake of making games, just because it was fun to do it. And you destroyed that.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I am making these games for you. Exactly. You've so infected my personal space
And
that it's possible.
The people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally, for a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so affected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. Okay. But yeah, you made this all about you, didn't you? If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes, giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe? Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them? Oh shit, so that wasn't Coda. At the beginning he said, oh, Coda used to put these lampposts in the games to signify kind of like an ending to them. And before that he was saying, hey, these games don't really have a point and they don't really go anywhere. And then, you know, after that you say, oh, he was putting these lampposts there, and it was him. You lying bastard. Would you simply...
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Would you simply let them be what they are? You know, it's funny. Yeah, obviously I'm not with games, but when I was doing 3D, I'd just sit there and model things because I could. And because I enjoyed doing it. And I was trying to, I suppose the more I did it, the more I improved my skills. But there was no end goal to it. There was no, you know, if I made an object, it got to the end of me making it, and there it was. There's an object. You know, and I'd had people before saying, yeah, but why are you doing it? What's the point of it? And it's just like, you don't have to get it for me to like doing it. You don't have to get it for me to enjoy it, you know? So when I am around you, I feel physically ill. God. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. Yeah, frustration comes with creativity. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realise that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
Wait. Is the narrator actually Coda as well? Like he's talking to himself like the character Coda was earlier. And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything. Okay, so I gather we solve the puzzle like we have done a million times before. Close it from the outside. There is no switch.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything.
Oh shit.
And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me?
Yeah. You're still not getting it.
I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but
Yep.
I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just drop it,
Please,
dude.
start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Oh, I'm being crushed. Epilogue. Oh, okay. It's a pretty cool space.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Yeah.
Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Yeah.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
That is sad. If you only do things to be validated by external forces or people, that is pretty mental. You can do things just for the sake of doing them, can't you? Or because you like doing them.
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna...
Go.
Okay.
See ya. The thing is, the guy narrating apparently is the maker of this game. Oh, so I'm told. Could just be a voice actor for all I know. And this whole story about Coda and everything could be a complete concoction to get across the points that are trying to be made in this game. It probably is fiction, but you know, I suppose it's doing a right job. If it is fiction, it's good that he cast himself as the arsehole as well, which is pretty interesting. It's good. It's not like he's... By doing that, it's like the opposite of going, look at me, everyone. Oh, this is like the well from earlier. Oh, cool. This is moving up. Is this where I entered the room? Can I get out of it? Yeah, I can. Okay. No, I ended it from the bottom, didn't I? Or did I? Can't remember. I wish there was a run button. Okay, so this is the thing earlier where you were meant to step into the beam and sacrifice yourself, but what actually happened was like a bug and you floated upwards. I'm interested to see what will happen when I step into it. Or even if it'll let me get to it. Oh, is that wall moving towards me? I think it might be. No, it's not. It's just my perception. Yeah. Okay, so I'll float up like I did before. And can I see anything? Oh shit, an endless labyrinth.
Turn back from this cave.
For R.
You said,
This project would not have been possible without the following individuals.
let me keep going.
Okay.
But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles. And you're so tired.
This woman's voice reminds me of someone.
I know that you're strong. So turn back. Turn back.
Well, that was a very, very existential sort of game, I suppose. Well, it's not really a game, it's more of a... It's almost like visual storytelling, isn't it? It's like storytelling with sort of game mechanics in it. A bit of a weird one, that one. Although it was good. I'm not quite sure what it was trying to say, really. It's almost like the narrator, so your guide through this, was kind of holding your hand through the beginning of it and then becoming more and more detached about his friend's games as it went along. And it turns out that he was the person that ruined it for him. I don't really, you know, if there's meant to be a message there, it's like, I think it's just some things are for their own sake, and it doesn't have to. There doesn't have to be an end goal or a reason, or I don't know, something like that. But essentially, I think it was saying that he ruined his friend's passion for doing this thing because he was pushing him to a place that he didn't really want to be. That's basically what I'm taking away from it. I'll probably think about that more over the coming days. May change my opinion, who knows. But yeah, that's the beginner's guide. It was all right. I might check out the Stanley Parable. I know that one came before this one, I think. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it might be worth checking out the Stanley Parable. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here now. I'll see you later. Bye.